Because you are worth it. January 24, 2014. Let us begin today's discussion with a question. Do you know what it means to self-indulge? When you give in to temptations, you are serving a self-indulgent need, and this could be anything from getting that high feeling from giving yourself a slice of a decadent dessert, or going on a reckless shopping spree when you know finances are tight, or you gain a thrill-like feeling that encourages and enables you to experience such a high level of excitement you cannot find from the most vigorous sport. You give yourself a high, similar to that found in many drugs, and just like the highs gained from drugs, the consequences for self-indulging and intemperance dose arrive later. The consequences of intemperance can range from mild to severe, and very rarely can you escape them, dear ones. Many times what you have chosen to indulge into, in order to make you mentally and emotionally happy, does have many direct and indirect injuries to yourself and those around you. Self-indulgences can become addictive just like drugs and alcohol are, and just as they are able to destroy relationships, so can someone with a self-indulging behavior. That adrenaline rush that you will do anything to get at any cost you will learn fast does come with a high cost. The cost could be the health of your mind and body and bills that are unpayable, and such behaviors have a way of affecting those closest to you. Understand, dear ones, the cost of intemperance, to where you self-indulge at a price that demonstrates a desperate attempt to make yourself happy, only furthers your discontent. We understand the long-lasting feelings of discontent and unhappiness within your daily life is what drives you towards making unhealthy choices, but there are always other choices, dear ones, always. The motive behind the self-indulgence, we understand, is powerful and can many times overtake your common sense very quickly. It is also understood that the dear souls that enter a self-indulging behavior are demonstrating unhappiness in their life, and they are looking into something else for that high or sudden thrill, even if it costs them heavily once all their energy has been tapped out. We know every dear soul that walks this earth strives for continual happiness, but true happiness, dear ones, is not to be found out in your external world. It comes from finding peace from within. To be able to nurture yourself with the purity of your love and compassion, and understand when you are providing self-love and self-care to yourself, you are no longer self-indulging, you are allowing yourself to grow and change while remaining on the positive light-filled path. We encourage you to trade places with self-indulgences for self-nurturance. Instead of having that sweet cake before dinner or for dinner, wait and see if you truly want it or need it after you eat a well-balanced meal. The self-indulging side of you will oppose the change to become more self-nurturing, but when you take the time to care and love yourself, you will receive great physical and psychological improvements that will empower you to continue with the positive changes, and you will begin feeling and being happier as a result. Stop looking for the quick fix to alter your mood or even your consciousness. Learn to address these inherent needs for help from something else in a mature fashion. When you are providing yourself with self-nurturance, you are giving yourself love, care and respect, and these traits are sensibly simple and very effective. Remember, dear ones, you know you are not going to replace that sweet cake to be your dinner. Instead, you're saving it for after dinner, with an openness that your dessert choice may not be the heavy and overly sweet and decadent cake, but perhaps a bowl of fresh berries topped with creamy yogurt. When you take the time to prepare something with love, you will be inspired to prepare the end with the same amount of enthusiasm and care. We know we are using cake and dinner as a reference, but you can easily bring the same logic into other areas that you have been known to self-indulge. Give yourself choices. Because they are there, it is just sometimes you have subconsciously chosen to ignore them. What is sad about those that give in to temptation and to intemperance behavior is that at the end of all the rush to gain that high that comes from doing something they know they shouldn't, but blame, the devil made me do it. They demonstrate a misguided effort to strengthen positive feelings about their self, yet at the same time they have trouble distinguishing their needs from their wants. Many times the need to self-indulge comes from not receiving enough nurturing from parents or caregivers, so in turn you may never have felt you were properly empathized with, possibly respected enough or even understood. Many times parents do not know how to encourage or to provide the guidance their children need, and later on in life a need grows and festers inside of them that pushes them into giving in to temptation, to self-indulgences in order to give validation for a misguided feeling. Understand, dear ones, your parents did their best with what they knew in regards to parenting. Being a parent does not come with a specific instruction manual, and being a parent can be difficult, especially to parents that also never received the kind of adequate nurturing growing up as well. Don't be too hard on your parents, they did the best they could. When nurturance is not established at a young age, its lacking can become part of your own behavioral package unless you learn to give yourself the love and care you really need and deserve. If your parents were critical and held back their love, what they have taught you, dear ones, is to be that way, to be critical and to hold back from yourself and from not giving yourself love and care. What this creates later on, dear ones, is a self-indulging behavior where you go out into the world seeking something, anything that will fill this void, even if it means making a lot of wrong choices. And without knowing how to give yourself love, you will continue to search for anyone or anything that will fill this part of you, even though you know in your heart these self-indulgent impulses are not for your greater good. Learning how to transition from being self-indulging to self-nurturing involves learning how to see yourself as being worthy of all things that you felt you were denied of. You learn to discover a way into your own authoritative power and reassert yourself until you begin to feel your true self emerging, and that inner child that was hurt for so long is embracing the healing you are giving it because you have accepted you are worthwhile, that you deserve to feel your own love and care. You are no longer the dear soul who thought they were missing something. You are becoming the dear soul that has endless possibilities and where happiness comes from within, bringing tranquility and peace wherever you go. It will take time, dear ones, to transition from being self-indulging to self-nurturing, but it is worth all your effort, dear ones. As you continue to make strides, becoming more caring and loving towards yourself, you learn the value of continuing the dialogue with your inner child, reminding this inner side of you that it does deserve what was denied during the years you were growing up. You will learn to rewrite the conditioned programming through continuous love and care you give yourself. This is a big undertaking, but you are worth it. At first, dear ones, if you feel you need to fake some of the love you give to yourself, then we encourage you to do this, because after a while this faking helps create new thinking patterns, and in time you will no longer be pretending to love and care for yourself. You will consider yourself from the level of your heart and soul worthy. We know negative patterns can be difficult to extinguish and change. In addition, we encourage you to use the power of your determination to accomplish the positive light-filled goals you have or will create for yourself. The more momentum you have and you begin to see positive results from the transition from being self-indulging to more self-nurturing, you will begin to see the effectiveness of treating yourself with respect, love, and kindness. Please, dear ones, never feel guilty for giving yourself kindness. You deserve to be treated with kindness. Stop with feeling the need to invalidate what you did not receive as a child and begin validating what you are giving yourself now, what is good, loving and very positive. Repeat if necessary that you are willing and you are ready to commit to your own growth, development and happiness. Change is not simple, this is acknowledged and understood, but the changes and transformations you will make are considerable and important for the development and growth of your total self. If you think about accomplishing a long-lasting state of peace and happiness, then the process to bring you there will be your encouragement and inspiration. During this time, dear ones, you will come to the conclusion just how vital and creative you truly are. You will move yourself from being self-indulging to self-nurturing because you have come to the divine light of your truth, and your truth is surrounded by unconditional love for yourself. And so it is. I am Ascended Master, Serapis Bey through Julie Miller. SpiritualNetworks.com